with coverage you can count on. This is the Erie News NOWCAST.
Good Thursday morning. Thanks for joining us here on Facebook Live. A mid-morning check of some of the stories we are following at Erie News Now. It's the NOWCAST, and we begin it this morning with breaking news on the local sports scene. Erie News Now has learned the Erie Bayhawks franchise, the one that's been part of the NBA's G League for the past decade plus, not coming back in the fall. The entire developmental G League, John Leidig playing this past season in that so-called bubble down in Orlando, Florida, and now word that the Bayhawks are ceasing operations.
Yeah, that's right, Mark. When we kind of knew there was hints of this because of the lack of numbers of available affiliates left, and that the New Orleans Pelicans didn't pick up the option with the Bayhawks to continue for a third year. The Bayhawks releasing this morning that they'll be ceasing operations in the coming weeks. So no season next season, and kind of the end of an era for a team that started in 2008 here. You know, the Bayhawks ownership, as well as their president, Matt Brzee, releasing a statement here this morning, Mark. And the big thing that this comes down to, as they say here, we've made the determination to cease operations in the coming weeks due to not being unable to find another NBA partner or other adequate opportunity to keep the G League basketball here in Erie.
Yeah, they say it's, you know, that changing landscape, as you just mentioned, John. Lots of NBA teams apparently want that G League affiliate close by. Erie, even though we're, you know, geographically close to Cleveland, Detroit, some other cities like that, they don't have a need for a G League franchise. You mentioned to me just a little bit ago that the teams in the NBA that do need a G League franchise are basically on the other side of the country. Yeah,
Denver and Portland are the big two that jump out that don't have affiliates right now. Again, it's happened. You know, we see Lakeland when they were with the Magic, the Bayhawks were. So there was travel, but with so many of these teams in terms of facilities and costs of everything, trying to watch in terms of their budget, it just didn't add up for a whole lot of sense with Denver and Portland and all the surrounding areas, including Delaware, Cleveland, and as you mentioned, Grand Rapids, which is for the Pistons, already have teams at this point.
All right, so we want to dig a little deeper into this breaking news coverage by catching up with our Isaac Petcash.
Yeah, he's down live at the Erie Insurance Arena. Isaac, with more information on what Bayhawks fans can expect over the next few days.
Yeah, John, Mark, good morning. It's a very difficult day here at Erie Insurance Arena, and we'll not have the Bayhawks coming up next season, as you both mentioned. We want to now ask the question, what comes next? And here's what we're learning from the Erie Bayhawks today. In that same statement that we were talking about a little bit earlier, we're learning that beginning Monday at 10 a.m., team is going to start liquidating some of those jerseys, other memorabilia, retail sales, and things of that nature. It'll be available on their team website through their team apparel store. So that'll be Monday at 10 a.m. You can start getting some of that last merchandise before it officially all goes by the wayside. Select memorabilia, that includes game autographed items, things other than like that will be up for auction on eBay. And of course, the team website has more information, as well as our website, erienewsnow.com. Now, as you both were mentioning, of course, we were talking about the fact that the Bayhawks didn't have an affiliate to be able to have closer to Erie. Bayhawks have been in this arena since 2008. They've been here for the last 13 years, formerly the affiliate of the Cleveland Cavaliers, Philadelphia 76ers, and most recently the New Orleans Pelicans. So the process of liquidating team jersey sales and things of that nature is going to begin on Monday. And again, that will begin the process of the team officially calling it at the end here as we move forward through 2021. So a difficult situation. We'll keep you updated throughout the day. We will be having interviews with the team president as we move forward. But for now, here at the Erie Insurance Arena, Isaac Petcash, Erie News Now.
Yeah, so I'm wondering, Isaac, when are we expecting to hear from Owen McCormick? I don't know if hopefully Isaac is still on the line there. When we're expecting to hear from Owen McCormick, and he did mention that some of the team officials will be speaking a little bit later on today.
Yeah.
Is Isaac still with us? All right. If, when you mentioned
again, a difficult situation.
Wondering when we're going to hear from Owen McCormick, perhaps, team president Matt Brzee.
So we're expecting to hear from him a little bit later on in the day today. I believe we're talking to him in the next hour or so, around 11 a.m. Again, President Brzee just releasing this statement. So right now, things still a fluid situation. Of course, we know the outcome, and we've known this for quite some time. But we're expecting to hear from him a little bit later in the morning here at about 11 a.m. We're also expecting to hear from members of the Erie Sports Commission, people who work day in and day out with this arena and the sports that inhabit it, whether that was the Bayhawks, the Otters, the Seawolves, of course, at UPMC. University Park. So a lot more throughout the day here as we move on. But again, right now, what we have is the statement. That statement, of course, reading the Erie Bayhawks will be no more, and we'll hear from them consistently as we move throughout the day. Guys?
All right, thanks so much, Isaac. And I know, John, you were obviously down in a lot of those Erie Bayhawks games. Team owner Owen McCormick, he's not a guy who was, up in an office just dealing with the numbers. This is a guy who was down courtside, impassioned fan of basketball. It's got to be heartbreaking for him.
Oh, he's put so much into this team, and just that entire staff from Owen all the way down through Matt Brzee and others. I mean, think about the great promotions they've had, from the Erie Pepperoni Balls
That's
to
right,
you have Clutch that always makes kids happy when they're there. It's just a tough day. I mean, they've provided a lot of opportunities. Taco Fall coming a couple of years ago with the Maine Red Claws. There's been a lot of great NBA talent that's come through this area.
Memories for some folks, I suppose, even for his brief time with the Bayhawks. So, yeah, it's a difficult time for sports fans, certainly, and for just Erie, I think, in general, to lose that Erie Bayhawks franchise. That is difficult. But I do know that you, Isaac, the rest of the sports team, the Erie News Now team, will be providing lots more coverage on this one throughout the day.
Yeah, we'll have details throughout the day and get you set both on air and online.
All right, we're going to continue on with this edition of the NOWCAST. Now, as we tell you a little bit more about moving on to some national coverage. President Joe Biden is set to unveil a series of executive actions today. Those half dozen or so executive orders, all aimed at addressing gun violence. Really, the president's first major action on that gun control issue since he took over in Washington. Comes after, of course, the country's most recent mass shooting in South Carolina. We'll talk about that in a sec. This series of 6 executive orders, though, contains a measure requiring buyers of so-called ghost guns to go through a background check. Those homemade guns don't have serial numbers to trace them with, and there's currently no federal requirement for background checks on them. The president's also expected to nominate David Chipman to be the director of the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms. He's a former federal agent and an advisor at the gun control group, Giffords. And as those announcements come out, we're getting new details on what authorities say is the nation's latest mass shooting. 5 people dead after gunfire near Charlotte, South Carolina. Among the dead, a prominent doctor from that area, along with his wife, their 2 grandkids, and a 5th adult. The cops apparently caught that shooting suspect at that suspect's home, not too far away from the shooting scene. Still no word on a possible motive in this one or any possible connection between the suspect and those victims. Well, as we move closer to April 19th, that's the date when all adults are going to be eligible for that COVID vaccine. Pennsylvania health officials say they're already dealing with patients who just aren't showing up for that shot appointment. A Penn State health official says these vax no-shows are causing delays for other patients and risking wasted vaccine. Part of the problem, people signing up for a bunch of appointments, then just taking the first available one. That can lead to staff having to then call people on a standby list and then wait for those folks to show up. They're urging anybody who knows they won't be making it to their vaccination appointment to just call ahead and cancel it. And I want to get to the very latest on a story that Erie News Now was first to report on 2 days ago, and one that we are leading the way on here on this Thursday. Those plans to potentially bring a couple hundred unaccompanied migrant children from the U.S. southern border right here into Erie County. We've learned that the feds are already taking a serious look at these dormitories up on Oliver Road in Summit Township. That's where we told you local businessman Glenn Renaud says he could potentially house hundreds of those unaccompanied migrant children. Of course, those kids currently being held in those crowded border facilities. We've confirmed the site's been assessed by the federal officials. They are now deciding whether or not those dorms can in fact be used for some of those migrant children. Meantime, a number of local faith leaders say they're ready and willing to help. Bishop Dwayne Brock of Erie's Victory Christian Center says his church's mission is to open up its doors to anybody. He says he understands that other people may already be hurting in Erie and need some help, but he thinks no matter where you come from, you deserve that helping hand.
Whoever comes, we must be able to help and provide relief. Please remember that this entire country is built on immigration. We are a country of immigrants.
And we're still working to find out about the possible timing of that potential migrant move. Of course, Erie News Now will provide continuing coverage on this one. Hey, if you see some smoke in the skies above Warren this morning, don't worry. It's the National Forest Service at work. They're actually purposely setting fire to a part of the Allegheny National Forest. It's a swamp in Warren County. It's an effort to actually benefit the local environment. Set to happen this morning in a spot known as Buzzard Swamp over in the Allegheny National Forest. They call these things prescribed burns. You basically set a fire on purpose. 55 acres of warm season grasses is going to be torched this morning. They say it will actually enhance the habitat's benefits for wildlife. Folks in that area, though, may see some smoke. That burn started a little bit ago and was set to continue until around 4:30 this afternoon. We've heard so much talk about brush fire worries in our area, and it seems this is kind of one way for the Forest Service to head off having to deal with a major brush fire. Meteorologist David Wolter's got a little more on exactly the purpose of those prescribed burns.
Yeah, it's exactly as you said. So it prevents a bigger fire in the future. So if you have that dry brush, burning that, getting rid of that is going to kind of create more of a barrier between those real wooded areas, and so it's a good thing. They do it in California all the time. Any place that's prone to brush or wildfires, you need those prescribed burns. As we look outside in Warren right now, you can see that sunshine out there over the Veterans Memorial Bridge. It's a beautiful day out there. Temperatures working their way up into the 60s. We got green bars as we continue right into the afternoon. Presque Isle, I know Sarah's going to be popular today. I know folks just want to get outside and spend as much time in this lovely weather as they can. We're going for the 80s today, and we're already about 10 degrees off. I'm expecting 82 degrees, which would break our record of 78 that was set back in 2001. It was actually tied in 2001, also a record back in 1991. So yeah, we're going to easily break that, and our forecast actually very similar to Miami, Florida. They're looking at 82 degrees today, and that's what we got. They got a little bit more humidity, but hey, you don't have to vacation in Florida. You can just go outside today. Temperatures in the 60s and 70s, 71 in Erie, 65 in Warren, feeling really good. That mountain air feels really nice out there into Bradford, at least the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains, or the Allegheny Mountains, I should say. Tree pollen certainly on the high side. That's really going to be the primary allergen as we look ahead over the next couple of weeks. But the grass allergies, the weed allergy, and the mold spores, they'll continue to pick up as well. We look down from space. Doppler max is on the quiet side, and as we continue through today, it's going to remain quiet. Some high clouds, they continue to move on in. You got a little bit of rain on the overnight, a few of those scattered showers. They'll be around, maybe even a boom of thunder. Can't totally rule that out for your Friday. Notice a few more of those showers scooting on through, even as we get into the afternoon. So we'll keep an eye on radar for you. Saturday looks pretty good overall. Temperatures today, again, we're going for records here in Erie. Upper 70s, lower 80s towards the lakeshore, middle and upper 70s for areas south of 90. Stay hydrated. You know the summer tips. We're applying them a little bit early. Upper 70s into Crawford as well as Warren County middle, and maybe upper 70s for you. So a little bit cooler towards the mountains, but unseasonably mild nonetheless. We'll look at the cooler stuff in that first warning weather 7-day coming up in just a moment.
First, though, we're learning a little bit more this morning about that car crash that left golf legend Tiger Woods seriously hurt. Authorities revealing that Woods was speeding, going nearly twice the speed limit when he crashed that SUV out in California back in February. Officials say there's no evidence that Woods was impaired, drunk, so to speak, at the time of the crash. They do say Tiger was not charged with a crime or even cited, despite that speeding conclusion. They say because no one else was hurt and there were no witnesses to the driver's speeding. All right, meantime, spring and golf back at Augusta National Golf Club. The 2021 Masters teeing off today. Dustin Johnson is in. He's the defending champ. Tiger Woods, of course, out after that car crash. The first round starting up about 8 o'clock this morning. So, yeah, they're probably halfway through that course already. COVID safety protocols in place down at Augusta National for both the patrons and workers at the course. And, of course, you'll have complete coverage over the weekend of the Masters Golf Tournament available for you on WSEE. Golf and weather in our area today, David.
I don't have a good swing, but yeah, we've got some delightful stuff as we look over the next couple of days. Today, 82. I'm sure a lot of folks will be heading on out. Protect your skin because you can get that sunburn in early spring. The sun angle just keeps on getting higher. 70s for the next couple of days. Even as the air cools off a bit, we're still around 70 degrees. You can see Saturday looks good. By Sunday, we will be dealing with some showers. So in terms of outdoor activities, Saturday is going to be your best bet, but we'll get some of those spring showers in there on Sunday, potentially on Monday, and temperatures, and look at that, we're starting to reverse things and heading back down Tuesday and Wednesday.
All right, thank you, David. Once again, do want to repeat our top story, the Erie Bayhawks announcing that they are ceasing operations. The city's G League franchise will be no more. John Leidick, the Erie sports team, going to have complete coverage on this one on later editions of Erie News Now. And of course, we'll see you back here on Facebook Live about the same time tomorrow.